had turned to dust over that period of time. And then Allah caused a reverse transformation, and the bones came back together, and the flesh came on the bones, and the donkey came to life. This is Allah's response to that man. So here we are, two dimensions of time juxtaposed with each other. One in which the food is still fresh, and the other in which the donkey died and the bones turned to dust. The Quran is teaching you, knocking on your door of your heart to tell you that time is not unidimensional. Time is multidimensional. When you understand this, now you can deal with Dajjal. And that is the lecture that's coming up on the 18th, inshallah, on Dajjal. What happened to the dog? The Quran does not tell us what happened to the dog, but we can infer that not only did the dog not survive, but the young men also did not survive for long after they had been brought back to the waking state. The inference is there because there's the gap between the young man going to fetch the food, and then the next event is the building of a monument to preserve the memory of this event. And so the likely answer to that question is that the dog died together with the young man. Any other questions?
You can hazard a guess where this cave is or was?
There are two claimants. One, I know of two. One is in Turkey, in southern Turkey, and the other is in Jordan. And both are rivaling each other. Has anyone ever visited? You have one. Anybody else? Which one you went to? Turkey? Jordan. Okay. Sura El Kehf. One in Jordan, one in Turkey. But there is no way that we can actually confirm the validity of the claim, whether it was Jordan or whether it was Turkey. Clearly it would be a place where Banu Israel lived, Israelite people, because these were Israelite people. The Qumran caves, where the Dead Scrolls were located, indicates that there were Jews living in caves in Jordan. Any other questions? You had two questions. All right. Any other questions on the subject? Yeah? Okay. Who is it who had some thoughts about photosynthesis and philotropism? Was it you? Who is it? Question: is the story of the young man in the cave told also in the scriptures of the Jews and the Christians? If it is it exactly the same narration? It is not only to be found amongst the Jews, it is also to be found in books which are not scriptures. It is the most famous reference to the story in history outside of the scriptures is it Edward Gibbon or Roger Gibbon who wrote The Decline? Roger? Edward? Edward Gibbon. And Roger Gibbon is a scientist.
Cyclist.
Huh?
Not cyclist.
Scientist. Psychist. Cyclist. No, that's this Roger Gibbon not. Yeah. I'm talking about The Decline and the Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon. That book has the story of the young man and the cave. Most references to this story today declare that they were Christians. But we quoted Ibn Kathir in our class, and Muhammad Asad as well, who challenged this. Why would the story, a miraculous story concerning Christians, confirm to the Jews that this man is indeed a true prophet of Allah, when they rejected Nabi Isa alayhi salam as a prophet of Allah and as the Messiah? They rejected him. So it's hardly likely that they were Christians, they were Jews. Any other questions?
Yeah, Maulana, I think one of the brothers mentioned to me last week in terms of the scientific processes, the phototropism and photosynthesis. As far as I understand as well, that seems to be a phenomenon to deal with plants. But you had suggested it in terms of applying in this situation.
Phototropism is a scientific phenomenon which every housewife is familiar, because you all have a plant in your home and you put it by the window and the plant moves towards the sunlight. Yeah. And this attraction to sunshine, attraction to sunlight, this is called phototropism. The Quran appears to be directing our attention to scientific research, which would be of great value to us in the age of Dajjal. Because in the age of Dajjal, said the Prophet ﷺ, people will have to flee to the mountains. Flee to the mountains. This is coming up. This is the next 50 years coming up ahead of us. When you flee to the mountains, when you flee away far from the centers of society, you're not a part of the national grid. Where are you going to get energy from? The answer appears to be energy from the elements, like water, like the sea, the wind power, the seashore, but most important of all, solar energy. I do believe I made mention to you last week that wherever in the world of Islam, indeed the non-European world, we have attempted to research solar energy for the purpose of achieving some energy independence and energy security. The powers that be, plus the World Bank and the IMF, have always attempted, and successfully so, to stop such research. I know one famous example of an engineer in Lahore, Pakistan, attempting to use solar energy for a simple thing like a fan. For a fan. And the IMF and the World Bank pressurized the Pakistan government to stop his work. So there is for us, when we attempt to build a Muslim village in Trinidad, as inshallah we will, that we would not remain dependent on the national grid for energy. Of course we can utilize it, but in addition to that we'll have an alternative source of energy in mastering the scientific research necessary, mastering it, so that we can exploit solar energy, both the photosynthesis and phototropism. Any other questions? Yes? Oh, you're the one. All right, come on.
Assalamu alaikum. It's just that photosynthesis and phototropism are related to plants. It is only the green part of plant that is called chlorophyll. It's the only manufacturing machine in the world as such for food. It is only this can produce all the food we eat, directly or indirectly. If we eat meat, they eat grass. So sunlight goes onto the green parts of the plant, and it is only this that manufactures food, all types of food. I was just saying that the fact that, Allah knows best, but if light is coming on two sides, I want to feel the more likely explanation would have been heat. And if a body rolls, the more likely explanation is in fact circulation. People sleep on the ground. They sleep on the ground, and it's an effort to get, and as you roll on the ground, it would give more of an indication that, as I say, circulation is more important in this particular aspect. So that perhaps it's a little lesson too, that you need to keep on exercising to be healthy, this sort of thing, But the rolling, I would say, is more for circulation, and the sunlight would be for energy.
Okay. If someone is on a bed lying for 3 weeks without being turned, what happens? You get bed sores. And if you're there for 300 years, you get a lot of bed sores. And so the rolling also has the function of keeping the bodies intact without bed sores. But there must be some explanation of the link between the sunlight entering, and with sunlight comes heat. The sunshine gives both light and heat, not light alone. Of the correlation between the sunshine entering in the morning and in the evening, and the body is rolling from the right to the left and to the right and to the left. This is my understanding, and Allah knows best. And so when we attempt to build a Muslim village, inshallah, we will strive as best as we can to achieve some independence of energy. But there's a crucial point here. If our effort to achieve energy independence is something which is non-threatening to anyone, then why, in the name of all the heavens above, why would those who today control power in the world, why would they be so intent on ensuring that we do not achieve that energy independence? The answer appears to be that solar energy could have given Pakistan and Bangladesh a measure of relief from the grip of the World Bank and the IMF. If they were able to satisfy a significant part of the energy needs from the abundant sunshine that they have. Abundant sunshine in Pakistan, and yet not being exploited to achieve some independence of energy. So Pakistan is dependent on oil, which has to be imported here. Any other questions? Now, can I ask some questions? Is there any link between Dajjal? Can you discern any link between Dajjal and the story of the young men in the cave? Would like to? You were not here, Riaz, last week. You got away. Brother Rashid, what link do you see between the story of the young men in the cave